I'm always delighted to be with Saul News, who's been such a leader in the conservative movement and the Republican Party.
Welcome to the Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for February 18th, 2022. An op-ed in the Wall Street Journal by Peggy Noonan states, "Republicans, stand against excess." America is in a crucial, high-stakes moment. Since 2020, we have been roiled over the pandemic, wokeness, crime, inflation, the schools, and illegal immigration. The Democratic Party has stood for, or failed to oppose, many unpopular policies. The Republican Party seems poised to rise. So what is the job of the Republican Party at this time? It is to be sane, it is to stand against excess, it is to put itself forward as worthy of leadership. It has to be centrist in its mood and attitudes, and in its internal understanding of itself. A great party can't be a cult. Cults are, by definition, marginal and not of the majority. Donald Trump brought in new voters, it's true, and the party would do well to hold them by taking good stands. But don't forget the votes he lost. To his friends and followers, I would say, put America first. Don't be a cultist, be a patriot. Help your country. Let go of old obsessions. Go forward with the spirit of repair and lead this wounded country. An article from The Hill reports, GOP eyes ambitious agenda if House flips. Republicans are eyeing an ambitious legislative agenda if they flip the House in November's elections, setting the stage for countless clashes with President Biden on a host of thorny issues, from COVID-19 protocols and big tech to border security and the national debt. The midterm cycle is historically brutal for the party of first-term presidents, and that track record, combined with Biden's approval rating, which is underwater, and consumer inflation, which is soaring, has created a golden opportunity for Republicans to win back the lower chamber after just 4 years in the minority wilderness. With that in mind, GOP leaders are already turning their gaze beyond the elections to discuss how they'd wield power, presuming they seize it. Among many other initiatives, some Republicans are eager to launch a slew of investigations into the administration to include its management of the coronavirus crisis, Biden's handling of the deadly U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, and the federal government's interactions with local school boards. And finally, Just the News reports, Biden misery index on rise as Americans pessimistic about country's future. Americans are growing increasingly pessimistic about the current state and future of the country as the political phenomenon of misery takes hold, presenting problems for President Biden and Democrats ahead of this year's midterm elections. As the national mood becomes gloomier under the Biden administration, a useful indicator for measuring economic pain has resurfaced after years of dormancy, the so-called misery index. Created by the late economist Arthur Okun, the misery index became widely known in the 1970s and early 1980s during the presidencies of Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. It adds together two measures of economic pain, the unemployment rate and inflation for consumers, to give a sense of the economic distress felt by everyday Americans. The index hit 11% in December and reached 11.5% last month, higher than any month in 2008 when the Great Recession began and just behind its highest levels in late 2009 and early 2010 when unemployment was around 10%. A primary reason for the gloomy outlook appears to be soaring inflation, which has caused prices to rise on everyday items from groceries to gasoline. This week, we'll let President Joe Biden have the last word.
And there was no way we were ever going to unite Iraq, Afghanistan. No way that was going to happen.
And that concludes your Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for February 18th, 2022. For more political news faster, visit saulsnews.com.